Biggest concern is that Major League Baseball manipulates the baseballs year in and year out, depending on the free agency class.
What?
I cannot believe what Pete Alonso just said. If you missed that, we're going to go ahead and roll it in just a few moments. But he said that the biggest issue in baseball is not pitchers using pine tar or bullfrog or spider tack or any other foreign substance. He is saying that MLB is purposely changing baseballs to cost players money in free agency. If that's the case, that might be the biggest black eye since, what, the steroid era? So we'll go ahead and talk about that in just a few moments. But what's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We have a lot to talk about today, including Aroldis Chapman. He was not himself yesterday. So we're going to talk about why maybe he gave up 4 runs to Josh Donaldson and Nelson Cruz. We also have Mookie Betts making one of the best plays that I've ever seen in my entire life. But first and foremost, I want to show my favorite home run of the year. I didn't think anything was going to be able to surpass this home run from Gavin Lux. The Marlins game yesterday, Jazz Chisholm, yeah, he was that guy. Adam Duvall, right before Jazz hit a home run, hit an absolute no-doubt bomb for his 11th home run of the season, but he only has an 83 OPS plus, so he's got to get on base a whole lot more. He is not taking any walks. And then Jazz, he did this right here. Whoever runs the Louvre out in Paris, I need you guys to take down the Mona Lisa and replace it with this image right here. The bat drop of the year. In my opinion, I don't think anything is going to beat this. If you have not ordered a Jazz Chisholm jersey, you should probably do that because he's a future Hall of Famer in the making, in my opinion. Starling Marte makes it back-to-back, and then later on in the game, Starling makes a pretty cool play in center field as the Marlins, they score 5 more runs in the 5th and the 6th innings, and Trevor Rogers, he was pretty good yesterday. He has a 2.02 ERA and 89 strikeouts to begin 2021. He's an absolute stud. And the Marlins, they don't even have Sixto Sanchez yet. So maybe they'll be a fringe playoff team. It's probably not going to happen, but I like their core young players. I can at least say that. Now, if you want to see Mookie Betts in person, make sure that you guys use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save 20 bucks off your entire purchase if you're going to any baseball games anytime soon. The Dodgers are now on a 3-game winning streak and 1.5 games back of first place. Mookie Betts not only hit a home run yesterday, but to me, this was the first ever game-ending kill cam 360 no-scope in Major League Baseball history. The fact that he makes it look so easy is probably the scariest part because when you are running and then you have to spin and throw an absolute dart to nab a runner tagging home, that is not easy to do. I feel like Roberto Clemente probably could have done that in his prime, but 2 guys out there in right field, in my opinion, maybe Ichiro is the 3rd. I guess I'll throw in Tony Gwynn as well because he was very good defensively. I'm just talking about right fielders. I mean, geez, how do you do this? Zach McKinstry and Julio Urias driving a few runs. Brian Reynolds, I do want to notate the fact that he has 10 home runs and an almost 150 OPS plus for the Pirates, so he is back in business. It didn't really matter, though, because McKinstry and Turner, they allow the closer Bickford, kind of the closer for the day. He is now overtaking Kenley Jansen as the Dodgers win 6-3 over the poor Pirates. Again, Dodgers, they're in 2nd place now. So usually I like to talk about walk-offs to begin the video, but because Mookie Betts made one of the plays of the year and also Jazz Chisholm with my favorite home run, I wanted to talk about those things, but we have 2 walk-offs back-to-back. Phillies versus the Braves, you have Ian Anderson versus Zach Wheeler, and they were both dominant. Ian Anderson goes 7 scoreless innings, and Zach Wheeler goes 8 scoreless innings, but has 12 strikeouts. He has been so good over the last month and a half, and actually the entire season, in my opinion. Jean Segura drives in an RBI on a double. The Braves put up 2 more on some bad baseball from the Phillies, but the Phillies, they have no quit in them. They have back-to-back walk-off victories. This comes off the bat of Jean Segura, and I fully think that the Braves are either allergic to being 500 or they're just afraid to play 500 baseball because they just can't get there. The Twins versus the Yankees, we all knew that this series was going to be spicy because you have Garrett Cole versus Josh Donaldson, and yesterday's game was nothing short of entertaining. You have Giancarlo Stanton. He is about to go off on a tear. When he gets hot, you just can't throw a pitch. He'll hit anything, even if it's 2 feet below the zone. I want to show this play from Miguel Andujar because I have clowned on him a lot as probably the worst defensive outfielder I've ever seen, and Gio Urshela hits a mammoth home run. But then the Twins, they start to climb back with an Andrelton Simmons RBI double. Cruz wants in on the RBI double action as well. And then Aroldis Chapman blows it on 2 swings, a 2-run home run to Josh Donaldson. Don't get me wrong, I love the Jazz Chisholm bat drops and I love the Gavin Lux bat flips. The fact that Josh Donaldson was kind of getting trashed on and he didn't really do that well in the game against Garrett Cole, it was probably better just to hit the home run. It wasn't a game winner, and that's why Nelson Cruz is the hero with the finishing touch, a walk-off home run. Now, of course, Aroldis Chapman, his velocity was down, so everyone was saying, yo, his RPM was down. That means that he is afraid to use spider tack or whatever foreign substance he has been using. I don't think that was the case. It was probably just an off day for Chapman, who has been pitching a lot, and might I say, he's been absolutely insane to begin the season. But Nelson Cruz with 27 home runs and a 162 OPS over the last 2 seasons combined, I mean, you just got to tip your cap. Nelson Cruz is all-time great in terms of right-handed hitters. And yes, I actually mean that. Nelson Cruz over the last 5 or 6 seasons, I mean, you can't get the guy out. Astros faced off against the Red Sox yesterday, and this was a crazy game. Yuli Gurriel starts off the game with a pesky pole home run. This ball traveled 200 and something feet. It was kind of funny to watch. The Red Sox go up by 1, and then Yordan Alvarez grabs the lead back, only to have JD Martinez tied up on a home run. Now, the Astros do go up by a score of 7-4, but then Christian Arroyo, former Cleveland Indian, I cannot believe that we did not give him a chance. He ties it up and bat flips, and Jose Altuve golfs a home run. Again, there were 6 lead changes, so this game was all over the place. But after that Altuve home run, it was all Boston Red Sox from there. So they take a 12-8 victory. The pitching is always going to be a little bit suspect for Boston, but that offense, absolutely elite. We have the Brewers versus the Reds. The Cubs didn't play yesterday, so with this win, the Brew Crew are now 8-2 in their last 10 games and tied for first place. Freddie Peralta, he would have been a lot better had there not been a rain delay, because he goes 4 innings, strikes out 6, only allows 1 earned run. But then Suter has to come in. He has 7 wins as a relief pitcher. Adames ties it up in the 6th, and then you have David Peterson with the 2 RBI double, Vogie with the 2-run home run, and then David Peterson adds 1 more. So the Brewers, they win 7-2 over the Reds. The Tigers versus the Mariners. Mitch Haniger hits a mammoth home run for number 15 on the season, and then Jonathan Scope does the same, but he does this Apo Taco fashion. You have Isaac Paredes with an RBI singy, and Jake Rogers hits a home run in back-to-back games. The Tigers score 2 more in the 4th before Mitch Haniger hits his 16th home run of the season. And Robbie Grossman, in my opinion, one of the most underrated players in baseball, he hits a home run. And to me, between Jake Rogers and Eric Haas, those 2 guys platooning for the Tigers, you don't even need Wilson Ramos anymore. Jose Abreu is leading everyone in RBIs again. I'm so upset that he was not in Major League Baseball earlier on in his life, because he came in way later after playing, and I can't remember exactly where he came from. Yasmani Grandal follows up with his 10th home run and ups his OPS plus up to 135, which is 35% better than the average hitter. So technically he is an above average, if not elite hitter, yet he has a 160 batting average, but he has a 400 on base percentage because he leads baseball in walks with 49 already on the season. Marcus Semien was playing against his former team. If you did not remember, he was actually drafted by the White Sox. Moncada forgets how many outs there are, and that leads to the 2nd run of the game for the Jays. Adam Engel, he has come back and played very well defensively. This was his 1st home run of the season. And Jose Abreu, again, he is leading baseball in RBIs. Liam Hendricks gets his 16th save of the season, and the White Sox, they improve to 5th in OPS and also 4th in team ERA. So offensively, they're 5th, and in terms of pitching, they're 4th. I mean, that right there is a top 5 team in baseball, maybe even top 3. And last but not least, Matt Chapman was doing Matt Chapman things yesterday over at third base. Frankie Montas was cruising through 6 scoreless innings until a nightmare 7th inning happened. Mike Minor goes 7 innings, only allows 3 hits and strikes out 7. Andrew Benintendi with this home run, he's now up to 7 home runs, 30 RBIs, 7 stolen bases. He is playing fantastic. He's not full-blown Benny Biceps, but I can officially call him Benny Biceps again. I kind of believe in that. And then Jorge Solaire with this nuke. The Royals, they beat the A's 6-1.
Pete, I'm wondering if you think MLB's doing the right thing by cracking down on pitchers with sticky stuff, and if so, why?
Oh, absolutely not. I think that I don't think so, because for me, I think that since the start of the game, pitchers have been using substances. I mean, there's a bag of rosin behind the mound right now to help guys dry their hands and get grip. For me, I think whether they're using pine tar rosin, bullfrog, or sunscreen and rosin, or whatever they want to use to help control the ball, let them use it. Because for me, it's like I go in the box every single day and I see guys throwing harder and harder. every day. And I don't want 99 slipping out of someone's hand because they didn't have enough feel for it. I think that the biggest concern is that Major League Baseball manipulates the baseballs year in and year out, depending on the free agency class or guys being in an advanced part of their arbitration. So I do think that's a big issue.
And now we have to get to the point where, again, I can't believe that I'm saying this, but Pete Alonso came out and said that Major League Baseball changes the baseball depending on the free agency class. So to add some context, let's say that going into 2022, which is actually what is happening, there are more shortstop free agents. So what do? They deaden the baseball. But let's say a few years ago, there are more starting pitcher free agents like Garrett Cole and all of the others that we've talked about. What they would do is juice the baseball so their ERA would inflate. Thus, they're not going to get as much money. And the same for hitters. If they deaden the baseball, they won't get as much in free agency. If this is true, oh my God. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you make of Pete Alonso's comments? One, saying that he doesn't care what pitchers use because they're throwing harder and harder and they've always been using sticky substances. And then number two, why did I put up 3? And then number 2, what do you think of him calling out Robert Manfred and Rawlings, because Major League Baseball bought Rawlings, and the fact that they control the baseball year in and year out, and that it changes depending on the free agency and the class of hitters or pitchers in said free agency class? I mean, if that's the case, I don't think it's true. That's kind of too conspiracy theorist, but again, it's an idea. All right, everyone. Well, that does it for today's MLB recap. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy, do not forget to leave a like as well as subscribe. We do this every single day. Don't forget to use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek if you're going to any baseball games or concerts, anything like that. Save yourself $20 off your entire purchase. And without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it. This day in MLB history.
Owen Ryan, the 2-0 pitch. Fly ball, right field.